Hey everybody, welcome back for another sublimation tutorial. Today we're looking at the Yamation DTF transfer film glitter. So the other tutorial was about the standard non-glitter, just plain film. They now have a glitter film, which is super awesome. If you want to have that glittery, sparkly effect, they now do have that. So instead of using the glitter vinyl, we can use the glitter transfer films and have that really nice smooth texture. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the process with that. If you are interested in trying this, there are links and description codes down in the descriptions, so go ahead and check that out. And also, if you haven't already seen the original tutorial for the DTF sublimation hack, I'll link that up above and below so you can check that out as well. It's a more detailed version of this process. So what you'll need for this process is about the same as the other process, except this one we're using the transfer film glitter. You still will need transfer adhesive because that's what transfers your image to your shirt. So do make sure you have both of the products or it won't work. Again, there's product links and discount codes down below in the descriptions if you want to check that out. And let's go ahead and move on to the steps. All right, so here we are in the Inkscape app. By now, you guys should know that Inkscape is my preferred method of printing and designing most things. If you haven't already seen the DTF Sublimation Hack printer settings, you'll want to check that out before you print to prevent any smearing or pizza wheel marks. This does work best for printing the DTF method. So we'll go ahead and go to our file and we'll press print. And we'll print our design. All right, so we have our image printed out on the Yamation DTF glitter transfer film. You can see there the image printed really well. I'll show you an up-close version here just so you can see the glitter on it. All right, so hopefully you can see there and not get my light shining too bright on that. You can see the glittery effect that it has with the film. It's actually really pretty. On darker colors, it seems to show up a little bit better than lighter colors because it's such a fine glitter. But that's actually a good thing because then you don't feel the glitter as much when you're pressing. So hopefully you can see that there, the effect that it has. So our next step here is to use our DTF transfer adhesive powder. If you haven't seen the full tutorial with the detailed steps in the original DTF sublimation hack tutorial, I'll link that up top and below so you can check out a more detailed version of how this step goes as well. But for a short version, you're just gonna cover your image with the powder. You're gonna tap off the excess, cure it, and then do a secondary layer of powder and not cure it. For me, that's the best way I've found to get results, but whatever works for you works for you. That's just how we get the best results here. So we'll go ahead and do our first layer. I like to have mine in just a little tub. That way it's easy to pour and then also to pour the excess back and then you can reuse it. So I'll go ahead and get this poured, cured, and then a second layer of powder, and then we'll finish up with the results. All right, so that's the first layer of powder, not cured. We're gonna go ahead and cure it now at 400 degrees. It can take up to about 5 to 6 minutes to fully cure the powder. I have a little press like always, so yours might go a little bit quicker, it might take a little bit longer, but you'll definitely know when it's done. And I know I'm gonna get questions on why I have a white piece of paper down here on the bottom. It is so I can scoop it up and put it back into my tub, and you can reuse that. So that's why I have the white piece of paper there. It's just for easy cleanup. So let's go ahead and cure our image. All right, so I just want to take a quick moment to show you guys the difference between cured and not cured. If you can see here where the colors are really vibrant and then over here it still looks powdery, that means you're not cured. So you need to keep curing. You want this kind of consistency where you can see that image clearly. So I'm going to go ahead and keep finishing and then we'll move on. All right, so we have that all cured. You'll see now that the whole image is very vibrant. All the colors are on there. You can do a test and just kind of real gently touch the image, and as long as no powder comes up, you've cured properly. And as long as everything's cured properly, we can move to the next step and press it to our material. All right, so now that we have our image printed out and powdered and cured, we're gonna go ahead and get our material that we're gonna press onto, and this is just a t-shirt from Walmart, nothing special. You will wanna make sure to lint roll, get all the fur off, the dirt, whatever may be on there, because otherwise it'll show underneath your image. For your taping down, I just have the Cricut heat resistant tape. It just helps keep the image down and not move. So from there, we'll go ahead and place our image. And what I have said before and why I like using film now is I can actually see where I'm placing my image versus trying to do a blind test or blind placement with the paper. So that's just kind of more convenient. I'm just gonna put this right about here. Looks pretty good. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and lay that there. And then I just do a couple of pieces of tape at the top and the bottom. Not too much, just like that. So when we're pressing, we want our heat press to be at 325 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. We do not want to do it at 400 like regular sublimation because it will melt the adhesive too much and burn it. So 325 is perfect, 10 to 15 seconds. I'll do mine in segments because I have a little press. If you have a larger press, you can do it in one go. So before you press, you do want to put either butcher paper or parchment paper over. I use parchment paper, it works for me, but use whatever works best for you. So we'll go ahead and press our image. All right, so we have our image pressed. You can remove your parchment paper, butcher's paper, whatever you used. And at this time, do not peel it. It is not a hot peel, it's not a warm peel, it is a cold peel. So make sure you do your cold peel completely cool, not any temperature to it, it should be cold. All right, so we have cooled off completely. There's no heat to it at all, and that is what we want. So with the film, when you're pulling back, don't just rip it off because you're gonna peel off parts of your image. You wanna gently pull it back, and what I do is kind of pull back a little bit and then just really gently peel it away and kind of almost flat. So we'll do that. And then if the image does start to peel up, it just means you didn't apply enough pressure or heat. So you'll just go over and reapply a little bit of pressure and heat in that area, let it cool off completely again, and then peel your image. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna stop peeling because I wanna show you something, and I'm kind of glad this happened so that I can show you guys what I've been talking about the repressing. If your image starts to peel up, you just want to repress. And that just means just in those areas that are having a hard time come up. So a little spot there and right here, those spots are kind of stuck. So we're just going to repress it to make sure it peels properly. All right, so you repressed and you're gonna let it re-cool off completely again. All right, so while these areas are cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and peel down here and get this heat resistant tape off and start peeling upwards. All right, so we got our film off, and that is the final product result with the DTF glitter transfer film. I'll show you a close-up here real quick so you can see that sparkly effect. All right, so that's the Yamation DTF glitter transfer film. It's a really thin product. It's almost like a super thin vinyl. It's very malleable, moves really well with the shirt. I have washed another one about 3 or 4 times, and it actually holds up really well. Also with the glitter, I've noticed versus if you want to use the Cricut vinyl glitter where you sublimate onto the glitter, the vinyl glitter is much more rough and you can feel that there's glitter. Whereas this glitter is very thin, you don't feel any of that texture. It's just a very smooth surface. So if you're wanting to try this product, it's the Yamation DTF Transfer Film. This was the glitter. They do have a regular one that's non-glitter. And there's also the Yamation powder that goes with it. I have all that information linked down in the descriptions for you to check out with discount codes as well. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if it was helpful for you, go ahead and boop that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share for others so they can get helped as well. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting.